But we're talking about Saint. I don't think this is going to be a video, not what we just talked about, but the other thing. I really need to watch a couple things. I'm gonna leave all this up just in case, but one of y'all mentioned Flossen's video. If you guys don't know, Flossen's in the chat right about power creep. This pretty much explains most or a good portion of what I was talking about today. I don't think Flossen made this video with the intention of it leaving, which that's a mistake that all of us make at some point, right? As creators, we don't really make videos with the intention of them leaving our target audience. Yeah, and you basically gave them ammo. You're a creator that a lot of them have never heard of. The video is making its waves. What's gonna happen in any situation like that really is you're gonna get farmed. They're gonna pick at your video, they're gonna use your video, and to be fair, right, I would say Flossen, honestly, you probably did a better good than you did a bad. There's nothing bad that you did here. The negative, right, is that, like Nick said, you gave them a target, but I'm pretty positive your video being shared in the space in the first place, getting put on Reddit, getting put in other people's discords, getting on Saint's stream, right, like, hey, you should watch this. That's a huge positive, because that means that most or more of the Zenless community agreed with what you were saying and what you were delivering in your video. And I already watched it. I watched it pretty much right around the time you uploaded it. So I don't mind rewatching it, but I don't want to turn this into me watching your video, then watching his video of him watching your video. I just want to hear what he said pertaining to your video, because I heard there was some pretty nasty things that were said that I don't want that to be a thing. Like it feels bad as in like it shouldn't be a thing. I'll probably just skim through it. Like I said, I really don't want to turn it into a video specifically. That's not my intention here. I do just want to see what's happening.
Has been something that I've been personally covering for quite literally months. So what I wanted to just do was, I mean, we could just look up HP over here, right? We just look up HP over here on my channel. We got 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, there's actually way more than we thought. Yeah, so a lot of videos on my channel.
I think this is kind of like before a lot of the conversation derives from is receiving that information. Before this whole video even started, basically we had like a 2.5 hour stream prior to me even getting to this point, but context so that we understood what I was talking about and like why I'm thinking the way that I am when it comes to where this information derives from. The information of like, because we had someone in chat earlier, and not to rag on them like that, but we did have to like explain that what they were saying was irrelevant. Not that their comment was irrelevant, but them talking about HP inflation and things like that, it was irrelevant to the game because of the diagram. I already referenced that. Also because of like where the game is and was in relation to that comment.
We even have straight up HP inflation problem over here. And then power creep, all that, Miyabi ruin, ZZZ, all of that stuff. And so what I wanted to do was actually get input of somebody else in the content creation space. Maybe somebody that actually has a lot more experience with ZZZ than I do. Because boy, oh boy, one thing's for sure about ZZZ, I don't play it as much as other games. And there are reasons for that, which I might explain in the vid, but I think it'd be worthy seeing what an expert like.
To be fair, one, Flossen, I don't know why he calls you an expert. It feels pretty demeaning. Not because you're not an expert, but it feels like a backhanded comment. Two, Saint, buddy, you know you can just call me up. You know you could say, hey bro, talk to me about Zenless. What's going on with, hey, explain this. You can just call me up. You don't have to go watch nobody's video. I understand content. I'm not telling you don't make your content. You could just, and I'm not even saying I have all the answers, but I am the one that has the most answers that you could directly talk to. Call Nix. Call Nix. He gonna give you all the answers 100%.
Flossen on you, who I imagine probably plays the game a lot, has to say on the matter, because he's saying everyone's wrong about HP inflation in Zenless,
which is true.
Bold claim to make,
which is very true. That statement is 100% true.
Today we're
the only way it's not true is if included in everyone is the people saying that HP inflation isn't a problem.
Fitting in this one is pretty good, pretty solid stuff.
If you find this video,
okay, this is already good start, right? If we're like reacting to the reaction, let's start. You've established what's going to be talked about in the video. You've already established like the direction, or rather the direction of the direction, right? Like that makes sense. Anyway, we know we're getting to HP inflation. We know we're getting to the misconceptions behind it, and we know the direction of Zenless. So from this point forward, everything that pertains to those responses should be catered or revolved around this.
So first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. HP inflation in gacha games refers to a design trend where newer enemies have significantly more health than those that were released earlier in the game's lifespan. This is usually done to increase difficulty over time, to encourage people to pull for the newest limited banner unit.
Correct.
And you know what ZZZ did when they released a character like fucking Hoshimi Miyabi? Yeah, every single player that pulled her suddenly got a lot more power. They got a lot more power. And they started clearing the older content too fast.
Still want to bring this into perspective, just hone it in. It's not just Miyabi. Miyabi is a huge factor, absolutely, right? Like as far as the characters go. The decibel rating system change did more to the game than Miyabi. If you would have just changed the decibel rating system but left it the same, you would still see people clearing significantly faster than what they were doing before. Because what the decibel change did, or rather what it allowed, was it allowed characters who were not able to fully utilize their kit in a combo or in a team rotation or against certain situations with enemies, well, now it gave you the option to do that. I explained it earlier. Perfect example is the ability to now instantly stun an enemy right after finishing a stun combo or a stun rotation, right? You work your stun up, you do your thing, get your max damage out or DPS from that window. The enemy recovers from stun. You swap into your stunner, you pop ult, you do your stun, and then they're instantly stunned, right? So like the game itself, the systems themselves have changed. Then you add Miyabi, and then you add into the factor of like the character can do whatever the fuck she wants. Mind you, we've already stated earlier, but I'll state it for this explanation too. There's a separation or a difference between Miyabi players who like close their eyes, jack off, and face roll on the keyboard, right? Then there's the players, again, referencing the here, right? The players who are orange and red and a little bit of yellow. These players started to understand, wait a minute, Miyabi is like way more cracked. Like she could do a lot of fucked up shit that we didn't know about. We didn't really push it, so we did it. And this drastically improved Miyabi's damage performance from a visual perspective. Players who could not be orange players and red players were showing off all the things that Miyabi could do without taking into account one of the key things that I've been talking about in this game. There is so much technique and practice and skill and execution and knowledge of the game to get to orange and red to be able to do those things with Miyabi, that the green player never in their fucking life, if they remain a green player, they will never be able to do the things that were being shared with Miyabi. If they're a yellow player, they will never be able to do the things that were being shared with Miyabi until they improve, which is a process. It's very important to make that very clear.
HP doesn't need to increase. You raise an interesting point, Parafrost, because this is the thing. It does if the game becomes too easy with the systems that they have in place, right?
Correct.
Because they released a character that was broken like Miyabi, and then all of the end game suddenly became way too easy.
Yep, it became trivial.
They could take 4 minutes on one side and then just put Miyabi on the other, and she would clear it in 30 seconds.
Yes. Okay. This is,
and if
so
that's
we're on the same page here.
The game is going, that's a little bit cooked, right? And so, we got to put more HP so the Miyabi sides actually have something to do.
And this isn't just,
it was a self-inflicted problem essentially.
A Zenless thing. It's a gacha game thing. This happens in every gacha, no matter. And that part right there is super important because it sets the stage for everything else that.
Look at that disorder, bro. 800K.
Power creep claims it, any.
We need to talk about. So I want to talk about a couple misconceptions that I've seen floating around the space, and honestly, just kind of debunk this whole.
1 million on the disorder.
That Miyabi Ultimate just did 2 full bars of the HP.
Misconception 1. HP inflation means Zenless is getting worse. I said I'd like to see more bosses with new mechanics instead of just giving them more HP outright.
Agreed.
Anyway, that aside, I think that this is a weak argument to act like this is a death sentence for Zenless. Like, bro, the game has been out for 9 months. Of course HP is gonna increase.
Why are we not talking about the real reason for why the HP increased?
Why are we not talking about that, Saint? That's such a good question, baby. I love it. Why are we not talking about it? The reason we're not talking about it is because it's not Miyabi. I understand Miyabi is such a crazy cracked out character. Wow, awesome. We all love her. Broken, best DPS in the game. The answer is not just Miyabi. There's so much shit that's happened in between that. And even then, when 1.4 got here, because that's not where the HP inflation happened. It was gradually increasing before that, just like little by little. The HP inflation that people are referring to is from 1.4 to 1.5. What happened from 1.4 to 1.5? Let's check the diagram. The gist of what I'm getting at though, everything that we just talked about, everything that we just broke down earlier, when we're talking about all the different agents that came out, Evelyn, Soldier 11, Miyabi, whatever, right? In the order that we spoke about it earlier, which I think is still also a part of this video to be fair, but the biggest factor to what's going on was the decibel change, the ultimate rating change. We got new disk drives that completely reworked the system from a character building perspective, where now you have these 4 pieces or 2 pieces that perfect your build at a casual or novice level, an intermediate level, advanced level, whatever, right? And now you can change up things. Not only did we get Miyabi, there's another factor. I understand that he does this. We also got Harumasa. Despite people looking at this character and going, man, I don't want to break my fingers to do 4,000 chain attack combo. Doesn't fucking matter. He's still in the game. At the time of 1.4 releasing, we got the 2 strongest DPS, 2 single strongest DPS characters in the game at the same time. One of them for free on top of everything else that happened from 1.4 to 1.5 with the decibel rating system. It's not just Miyabi. The reason why that question gets presented, the reason why it's asked, and why Flossin didn't say anything about it is because it's not just Miyabi. I'm gonna bring this one down actually. Rocket Boo.
Why are we not talking about the character that came in and did double or triple the damage of the past characters?
Okay, the same thing would be said for Harumasa. Why are we not talking about Harumasa? If we're gonna focus in on what Miyabi's doing damage-wise, why are we not talking about Harumasa?
Until very recently.
Just part of the life cycle in gacha games. So while yes,
I've never argued that a character is stronger. I've never once in my life said, oh, Ellen is the same power level as Miyabi. Like, duh, bro, if Miyabi can clear, Ellen can. I've never done that. What I've said is that Miyabi does not invalidate Ellen. Ellen being in your account, if you happen to have Ellen, and someone being like, oh man, Ellen sucks. Miyabi power creep Ellen. Ellen can't do shit anymore. No, you just suck. Not you specifically, right? But like what I'm saying, it's like you just suck at playing Ellen. You can get better at playing Ellen. I suck at playing Sokaku and like it. I do not like Mono Ice. After watching Yoji's clear with M0, Miyabi, Lycan, and Sokaku, and being able to kill Bringer, mind you, this is the Bringer that people are talking about with like massive HP inflation. That made me want to reassess everything. I want to build my Sokaku. I want to build my Lycan. I want to perfect my Miyabi. I want to learn that rotation. That's the type of player that I am. I see some cool shit. I want to do it. I don't get intimidated by it. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people do get intimidated by that. Like, they see something and it's like, well, I don't want to have that shouldn't be in the game. Why? I shouldn't have to do that. You should learn how to play the game.
HP inflation can ruin Zenless if it's left unchecked. I don't think it will, especially not because of just Shiyu changing. And the big reason why is the next misconception that I've been seeing.
Oh,
Misconception 2. Enemies are just spongy with no
When's this motherfucker gonna talk about Miyabi? I swear to God, she is like the main problem, bro.
No, she's not. I think what's happening here is a perfect example. Saint's whole thing, his shtick with Miyabi, he is so strung on Miyabi because he does not have the information of yellow, orange, or red. This is why he's so strung on Miyabi. He doesn't see what's in the yellow, right? Because he hasn't gotten there yet. The actual problem, and I've said this before plenty of times, not specifically about Zenless, but like a lot of games. I said before we even get to the power creep in Star Rail, there are certain problems as players we need to address. What did the community do? Oh, no. So you're gonna blame the player and not the game? So it's the player's fault that they suck at the game and not the game's fault that it's too hard. Motherfucker, yes. You sucking at the game is always your fault. Oh man, I can't beat Dark Souls 3. It's too hard. If only the game got easier. You guys remember Sekiro when it came out? Man, this game is too hard. 7 out of 10. If Soulsborne games were a little easier, more people would want to play Soulsborne. Guess what? So yes, you sucking at the game is your fault. It is not the game's fault that you suck at the game. That's a whole different problem.
Zenless has had boss fights with actual mechanics. Jane Doe, Pompeii, Hugo, Pulchra, Tugger. There's tons more, and these are not just brain dead fights that you can spam through. Pompeii literally punishes you for mashing when he guards with his motorcycle. Now, I do agree.
Something that players don't know, right? Because the game doesn't tell it to you. You have to learn that. This is yellow information. When you enter this yellow block, these are the things you start to learn. How do the enemies move? The advantages or disadvantages of doing something. What do they gain versus what do I lose? So on and so forth. Bypassing things, right? Skipping Bringer's entire second phase. You learn skipping phases, phase skips in like that orange territory. But before you learn that, you have to learn the enemy that's yellow territory. It is the phase with the sword thingy, but not the sword thingy. When you stun him for the first time, or if you take too long to stun him, he does his roar and he says, you know, create or refine me. He vanishes off the screen and then he summons the eye. If you don't kill the eyeball, here's my sword. Deal with this, which is also a time waster. That's the punishment for the player. The boss gets rewarded because you didn't stop it. Before he gets to the eyeball, you can stop that phase. So he never gets to the eyeball. You have to get it frame perfect or it's fucked. And this goes into the stun locking shit, right? And I said, you can stun lock him in Deadly Assault so that you can clear with 20k within the first like minute and a half. You don't have to worry about anything he does. You get your points and then you fuck off for the rest of the fight, right? If all you care about is clearing to get your rewards, this is the easiest way to do that. But these are reasons why you would want to stun lock. That's orange player information.
We're going to talk about the Electro Mech Shield. The Electro Mech with the massive shield.
If bosses don't have unique mechanics,
Which
higher
okay, wait,
HP
which
makes
Electro
things
mech
feel
mech
worse.
is he talking about
That's a
there? I don't know which
design
one he's
issue
talking
with the
about. And even then, if he's talking about the one that's like a and its shield closes in force, again, punish and reward, right? If the boss does a thing and you don't stop it, they get a reward, you get punished. You didn't stop him from setting up his shield, basically. Now you could easily just run behind him, but you do need to, like, once he sets that shield up, you need to pop him with an anomaly. Electro's the easiest, but you need to trigger an anomaly. Okay, shield. Okay, so shield only allows electric anomalies. Okay, your only other option, stop it or stun it. If he gets the electric up or the shield up, you have to pop him with the electric anomaly or stun him. Okay. So Saint's right on that one. Let me correct that then for sure. So you only have two options then. Stop it from happening, stun him when it happens. Everyone's on the same page now. We get it for sure. Easy correction.
Look, if you're a casual player, then in-game content is going to feel unfair.
W flossing. No. Fuck that. Say whatever you gotta say. W flossing. Even his mic knew he was saying bullshit because it cut out. Even his microphone knew. Saying your mic knew you were saying some bullshit and it clipped you out.
Casual player starts seeing they were once able to start clearing content, no longer able. What do you think is going to happen to their enjoyment of the game? What if you are a casual basketball player going to your gym, right? And then you want access to a different sort of court or something, right? Or you want to wear a certain type of shoe, but you don't get to wear the shoe.
No. He was about to set up the perfect analogy that would immediately disprove what he's trying to explain. Let's say that you're a casual basketball player, you go to your gym. Normally what happens is they might play half a court if they're respectful. If they're not respectful, they're taking over the whole court. If they're playing half a court, one half of the court is for like, hey, I'm just practicing layups. We're just practicing, we're casual, right? The other half, hey bro, don't come over here if you're not trying to play the game. If you can't take an elbow to the chest, don't come over here. If you can't hit threes, don't come over here. That would have been a perfect analogy of what was trying to be explained, which is a good representation of what Flossin is saying. Casual players, you don't belong on this side of the court. What are you doing? Oh, you should not be over here. Now you can experience it, but then what happens, right? If you've played any kind of sports, you might have experienced this. And it's not until you're willing to get hurt that you can play with them, or you're so good you don't get hurt. I'm so fast, they're never gonna catch me. That's a win. You could do that. What's the equivalent of that in Zenless? I'm so good at stun locking enemies that I'll never deal with the boss's mechanics. I'm so good at phase skips that I'll never have to deal with that a day in my life. That would have been a much better analogy if he delivered it.
Keep buying that shoe? No, you're not. It's like people had access and were literally able to do this stuff. They were able to do these game modes, play these features, enjoy these end game modes, and then now they're no longer able to because you've inflated the HP so high.
Correct.
And so now they need to go and like start grinding
yes.
disk drives hardcore.
Yes.
Grinding their teams hardcore. Doing like a bunch of hardcore stuff.
Yes.
To originally do content that they used to do.
Yes. That's the whole point of endgame. That's the whole point of endgame. You have to play the game. Yes. You have to learn the game. You have to play the game. Saint, that's the whole point, brother. You know that. You know that. You know that's the whole point. Let's give a better example. I know Saint can relate to this. I'm a very new player when it comes to that. I casually play, right? I'm a novice. If we go based on the chart, I'm in the green, little bit of yellow when it comes to a game called League of Legends. Mostly in the green, I'm learning but I don't play enough to be in the yellow. Some characters I know a decent amount about to be able to function in my own lane. But if somebody else came over and they smoked my shit, you got it. I don't know enough, right? So let me take this. This is like me getting angry at playing in a League of Legends tournament or like a gold rank, diamond rank, whatever, but I have the knowledge and skills of a green player. At one point, when playing with my friends, I could beat gold level players. When I had a team that was carrying me, we could beat high ranking players. But now, by myself, I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. So I need to work my way up to be able to do it on my own. This would be the exact same thing when it comes to like League.
Or to start doing content that they originally used.
It's like you picking Melee versus Teemo and low elo. Cyber plays League, he can talk for me.
Be able to do without doing all this stuff before. It's just such an elitist take and elitist mentality that just kills this game.
What? Listen. This is funny. This is funny. No. This is such a double standard, bro. This is purely hilarious at this point. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I want to address something real quick. He mentioned being able to clear content, being able to clear in-game earlier, so pre 1.5, being able to clear content, and now you can't. Again, there are a couple different things that happened throughout the course of 1.4 to 1.5 that were very major to the game systems. And while Saint might be blaming Miyabi and only Miyabi, that is not the case. Miyabi is like giving everyone a master sword in Zelda. Everyone, you get a master sword, you get a master, everyone gets a master sword. Everyone has a master sword. And Haramasa, make up a weapon. I don't really care what it is. Just say that he's the second most powerful weapon in the game, right? You got the 2 strongest weapons in the game for free, basically. It's guaranteed. Yes, everyone is going to be able to clear content that they couldn't clear before. A really good hone in on the reality. Players who couldn't clear Shiyu, Deadly Assault, whatever tower before Miyabi, if you take Miyabi away from their account and left them in 1.4, they still could not clear. This is also why you have a lot of players openly admitting my Miyabi side clears no problem, but the other 2 I can't clear. I can only clear the one with Miyabi. To this day, HP inflation to the max, Miyabi is still carrying players' accounts. They are still able to do these things because Miyabi is a master sword. She gives you the ability to do that. Astra is another character that also gives you the ability to do that, but Astra came out right after Miyabi, so it makes more sense for a player to have Miyabi but no Astra. So I wouldn't say that everyone has both, but you have one or the other, each being their own version of a master sword. No matter how you flip, twist, and spin it, it is your fault. Not being able to clear content because you depend on the crutch that is Miyabi or Astra is entirely your fault. Hey man, I had this character, she let me close my eyes, jack off, and face roll. Awesome. Everyone else in my account that I've built up from 1.0 to 1.4 do not let me clear the content in the same way. Therefore, I have deducted everyone else in the game sucks. Miyabi is the only good character. I want another Miyabi. When are they gonna make another Miyabi level character? And for the longest time, Evelyn is as close to Evelyn's doing Evelyn's best team with Astra and Lyra out DPSing Miyabi. You might be a moron. Soldier Zero Ambi is matching Evelyn's DPS. Soldier Zero by herself just is matching Evelyn's chain attack combo. There's so many moronic statements that get made on a daily fucking basis when it comes to the power differences in this game. This green bubble. There's so much stupidity, misinformation, and nonsense that gets pushed out from this green block that it doesn't make sense. Let's take it down. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Red is peak player, top tier, the most information in the game possible. Orange has the second most information in the game possible. Then yellow, and it stops. It stops after that. So what red knows can teach an orange. What orange knows can teach a yellow. What yellow knows can teach a green. And what green knows can teach a blue. But a green cannot teach a blue anything above green. They can't teach them that. They don't know it. What ends up happening if a majority of the green bubble is shouting nonsense? Who's the first largest category behind green? The only people that'll listen to green are the people that aren't green, so blue. So if all the greens are shouting nonsense, guess what happens? The blues start shouting nonsense. And now it's become over 75% of the player base saying stupid shit with no criteria to back it up, no physical evidence to back it up. But you know what is happening? Yellow players, orange players, and red players are constantly disproving the misinformation going around. And green, I pretend I do not see it. That solo Soldier 11 clear that you just showed me with average build and reasonable things to achieve, I pretend I do not see it. It does not fit my agenda, therefore it does not exist. Well, obviously, Miyabi can kill Bringer because she's the strongest character in the game. But that's like Miyabi plus Astra. Like that's the strongest team. Miyabi, Astra, and then you're not. Here is footage of Miyabi, M0 with Sokaku and Lycan. M0 Lycan, by the way. Killing Bringer. Something that players, once again, yellow and orange. Orange and yellow players cannot even kill Bringer consistently. A red player has killed Bringer with the basic mono ice team. No one beneath red and a little bit of orange is clearing like that. No one is doing that. Earlier, Saint said that it sounds elitist, like it's such an elitist comment. You are doing the elitist thing right now. You're doing the thing where you're saying like anybody can, oh man, that's bro, I jack off all night and I get 20Ks. Anybody could do that. Getting 20K is so easy. The reality, everyone can't get 20K. It's not easy. The majority of players can't get 20K. If they could, guess what? If they could, Saint wouldn't be able to make videos like this. If the majority of players could clear content currently in Zenless Zone Zero without any issues whatsoever, and they understood how to play the game, and everyone was at least a yellow level player, or at least half the player base was yellow level player, he would not be able to make content like this because everyone would be on his ass. My point about the Soldier 11 run isn't to even encourage someone else to do that. What I'm saying is that if somebody can solo clear content with a standard 5-star character, anybody should be able to do it with 3 teams. The excuse is the player skill. That's what I'm weighing out here. You have someone, multiple people, mind you, is that they're doing solo runs. What about Billy? Billy did it. We just saw that last week. Are we gonna say that Billy now we're gonna invalidate Billy? Like there at some point we have to like, okay, it's definitely the player's fault for not being able to do blank. We have to do that. But collectively as a community, we have to start, hey, that's your fault, skill issue, 100%. Get better at the game. Because if we don't, it continues all of this nonsense. Power creep, HP inflation, whatever.
It's literally the elitist mentality that kills games like this. When the only people you have left are like losers that just play the game too much for their own good.
Bro, Saint, you literally played League of Legends. You've achieved something that nobody else as a gacha creator has achieved. You achieved a rank that nobody else has achieved in League. You can't call them losers, bro. That's fucked up. This gotta be some big rage bait, brother, because this reminds me of like, Saint, you're calling people losers in Zenless Zone Zero because they invest time into the game. They learned how to play the game. Oh my God, bro. You know how to stop Bringer from going to his second phase? I learned how to play the game? A loser. Couldn't be me. I'm telling y'all, bro, this gotta be some master rage bait. It's funny. It's funny. Mind you, Flossin in no way, shape, or form in the last 3 minutes and 46 seconds of this video has shown any form of being an elitist whatsoever.
To a gamer, like 90+% of gacha gamers, you don't deserve to play this mode.
And I say this with love. I think legitimately you just don't like the game. He's super anti-Hoyo. I understand that. But I think you don't mean a single thing you just said. I legit think it's just because it's Hoyo/Zenless that you're going ham on it. Some of the things that you're saying in this video could easily be related to, I'm gonna say something, but I don't want this to be something that like, I'm not saying like, oh, EO said. I'm using this and I'm presenting a question. Wasn't there a tournament for Weathering that Brax hosted? Saint was a part of it. And then Saint spent 6 hours trying to learn a particular team rotation or comp. And then when the tournament happened, he didn't get that team. So then he essentially, the community says cheated. I don't know what he did, so I'm not gonna say cheated, but that's what the community says. Spent another 3 hours testing out the team that he just picked, essentially, or however long it was. He was playing while another player was playing when that wasn't supposed to be what happened, and then he still lost. Mind you, that's not even my question. I just needed to set the context. My question, would Saint call Sweetly or Maddie a loser? Would you, in the same context being provided in this video, and Flossin isn't even on the level of Sweetly. Sweetly literally is just crap. Would you call her a loser? Like, by the definition that you just gave, from your perspective, they, all of them would be losers. You see what I'm saying? It's just crazy. No, we're not gonna talk about Maggie. I feel like this is just a really bad statement to make, you know, like, and because I would never call them that, but like, damn, you really feel that way, bro? That's crazy. Saint spends 6 hours hyper analyzing Maggie's Sonic Theory crafting Excel sheet and proceeds to call learning to fight Bringer being a loser. Oh my god, yo, you said it, not me. You said that, not me. Oh my goodness, dude. I'm just reading it out loud, bro. Listen, moral of the story, I can tell why this would have upset some people listening to this video or listening to this segment of the stream. I understand it now why. I get it. You were being so like, and it feels like you're being degrading towards anybody that just doesn't outright agree that HP inflation is a problem. Like the people that are telling you that, you know, the information available to anybody that plays the game, and I guess they play it a little more than you, right? Referencing the graph once again. If you're in the blue or the white, because, you know, he's called himself a tourist, and the people in yellow, orange, and red are giving you information that could help you build a better case for your argument as to why HP inflation would be a problem. And you're actively pretend I do not see it. Get that weak shit out of here. You spent 3 hours researching something that I also could have done? Nah, f that. You're a loser. Wow, I didn't know the Hoyo hate went that deep. I can't even say I get it.
Well done. You want to know how Wuwa's endgame works? Wuwa's endgame is a combination of rotation, character building, or rotation, teams, and investment in your characters.
All right, so number one example that we received today during our live stream is a video from Run Boss. Can a team of A ranks with B rank W engines 3-star deadly assault? The answer is yes. You have a Billy, level 40 B rank W engine. By the way, this would fulfill 1 out of 3 conditions that Saint just explained. The only condition being fulfilled here is the builds. They might know the rotation. It's not the builds. It has to be player skill. I'm not watching this whole thing. Double S rank? Double S rank. Took 4 minutes, 54 seconds. Completely unorthodox builds.
That's not gatekeeping. That's just what the game is. It's been teaching us this pretty much since day one.
That's true.
If you ignore those signs, you can't turn around and act Pikachu face surprised
Double
when the
true.
content starts getting harder. This is why I always say it's important to know your agents, know why you're pulling for them, know what their W engine does and how it fits into your team.
Lawson is spitting. He's speaking that knowledge. He's telling you how it is, bro. It is what it is, man.
Zenless isn't just a gacha game. It's a team-based fighting game. And in every fighting game, knowledge is power.
Absolutely true. Knowledge and execution, but more so knowledge.
If you understand the game and make smart decisions, the game rewards you for that.
What does this have to do with the HP going up 60+% since 1.4?
I'm telling you, bro, this is like such a baby complaint. Dog, I'm telling you, bro, this is like complaining in the classroom. In like the kindergarten classroom, this is what this is right now. Miss Thompson, Tommy got an A and I got an F, but I did what Tommy did. Well, little Jimmy, you actually didn't do what Tommy did, and instead you did something completely different. 1 + 1 is 2, not 11.
Okay, gotcha.
Gotta be rage bait, bro. It's gotta be W fucking rage bait.
So
chat.
HP inflation is only a problem if you're lazy and stupid.
I'm gonna correct that statement. HP inflation is only a problem if you are dog shit at the game. There we go. I said it for you. Has nothing to do with being lazy. It has nothing to do with being stupid. No more sugarcoating it, bro. And it's okay. Being bad at any game, you're like in the middle. Now you can learn everything in the world to get better at the game and have so much more fun. Or you can stop playing the game and go play the other game and have more fun over there.
Also, last thing I wanted to touch on, and probably something that
Fuck.
people don't want to hear.
I'm out of water.
But I'm gonna
Mission-
say it
mission
anyway, 'cause it's
accomplished,
farm
boys.
engagement.
Oh boy.
Meta over waifu.
Correct.
Now listen.
Exactly. No. Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. 1,000,000% in this game. If you don't pull Miyabi, Astro Yout, go yourself.
That's not what that means. Okay, in Zenless Zone Zero, let me explain. Meta over waifu does not mean pull Miyabi, pull Astra. These are amazing units, absolutely. You should absolutely be trying to pull them if you can because they're cracked, right? Tier 0, respectively, in their own categories are the only ones up there. But meta over waifu means that you're pulling based on your team. You are building a team. It's a team-based game. You are building to construct the foundation of what it is that you want to play. If you don't have Miyabi and you're pulling meta, and let's say that you've been building up for Zhu Yuan, right? You're focusing on Zhu Yuan. You're not gonna pull something that doesn't work with Zhu Yuan. This is what meta over waifu means in this context. This is coming from someone that does have Miyabi and Astra, not me, Saint. And Saint couldn't clear in the same fashion that he just told you guys that you should be able to clear. Let the picture paint itself. Saint is the green player right now with Miyabi and Astra that is telling the blue player, just get these characters and you clear. All your issues go away. Your account's bricked if you don't have these characters.
It's not even fucking close. SK is the only must pull in the game, but it's so easy to clear TOA without her. It's insane.
I am watching Hypocrisy live. I am watching Hypocrisy live, and it's so funny. This is, bro, so I'm telling you, it has to be bait. W Rage bait. It has to be bait. There's no way. There's no way. He said Shorekeeper is the only one you need, right? The only must pull in the game. And then you can still clear content without Shorekeeper. If we take the equivalent of that, let's say that Astra is the equivalent of Shorekeeper, which to be fair, Astra is the equivalent of an S2 Shorekeeper, right? So the value of an S2 Shorekeeper on your account, that's Astra. All right, bam. We just saw this, right? Hypocrisy live. If Astra was all you needed to clear content, right? Just one Astra, then everything else was super easy to clear. In-game content, Billy, Lukaku, Nicole, all free characters that everyone in the game gets. Do defense, no Astra on this team at all, or this clear at all. Piper, Okra, Lucy, 2 free characters that you get. Lukaku, Anby, Nicole, 5 out of 6 of the characters used to clear the content are all free. Haramasa, free character. Rena, standard banner character. And then Trigger, one limited S rank character that you would have to pull for. Astra's not on this team. Criteria met. Finally, Soldier 11, standard 5-star character. You have 2 opportunities within your first 2 to 3 days of playing the game in order to get this character. Criteria met.
No, I didn't.
Uh-oh. Yo, Wotad, no, don't get pulled up. Don't get pulled up. No.
Show the incredible lack of intelligence. We're going for a ride here.
No way you're going through all this.
Oh,
no
boy,
way he's going.
Bro, literally.
Skip 10 minutes.
One of my
Is it legit a 10? Oh, he's doing this shit for 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm not listening to that. He couldn't find it. So I guess Wotad was right. No, I didn't. He never said it. And Wotad never said it.
The type of player who only pulls for characters you think are cool and then complains about content being too hard, well, that's where the issue comes in.
Oh,
Facts.
so you have to pull the units as well.
I think Wuthering has created their own issues with the rest of the gacha space. Let me explain. I think Wuthering's ability to solo clear content in that game, the fact that it is not power creep yet, I use that very loosely. It's a lot more freeform. Teams don't, and I've said this before, even Saints has agreed with me on this. Teams and the structure of your team don't matter as much in Wuthering like they would in a different game. Any other gacha game, doesn't matter. And this is due to the way the game is designed. The Forte system is designed a certain way so that characters like Sanhua can just fit in plenty of places. I think a system like that has done harm for these types of conversations. Anytime these conversations get brought up, what ends up happening is a lot of comparisons happening between Wuthering and, in this particular case, Zenless, where it's like, oh yeah, Wuthering does it, so everything else should also be like that. And it's like, unfortunately, that's not how that game is. Like, it's not even designed like that from the ground up. So you can't compare the two at all.
I am a Soldier 11 main, right? Pretty obvious. I've been using Soldier 11 since the beginning of the game, and I plan to keep using her as long as I play. But I'll be real, I didn't always make the right choices to keep her strong. I didn't pull Lighter, I didn't pull Evelyn's W engine. For the past 6-7 months, I've been running the Brimstone, and I've been forcing Kaleda into my team composition, even though half a year ago, I knew that she wasn't going to be as viable as the other agents that have been releasing in the game.
This is a great example of being aware as a player. Earlier, I mentioned to you guys that I don't max out a lot of shit, right? I max out things that I want to play. Everything else on my account, like if I don't play it, it's not getting maxed out. But if I have to use it, then I learn how to play it. in order to make up for me not maxing shit out. Being aware of the faults that you might have in order to succeed is super important to have that. Flossin understanding that he wants to be a Soldier 11 main, but did not pull lighter, did not pull Evelyn's W engine, and has otherwise not done what he needs to keep Soldier 11 at the top of damage performance on his own account. And yet he's still clearing content. And funnily enough, literally look at the image. Pull lighter for Soldier 11 or skip lighter for Miyabi. This is the exact position a lot of people were in. So many people were pull Yanagi or skip and save to guarantee Miyabi. Because at the time of us getting drip fed Miyabi, no one knew that we were going to be getting Chrome rewards, free tickets, whatever, that guaranteed Miyabi. By the time we received that information, Yanagi was already gone. Lighter had maybe like 2 hours left on the banner. This was a crazy position for a lot of players.
Bro just doesn't get to play the character that he wants to play, and like he say, oh, I deserved it though. Oh, I deserve.
I'm gonna go back. Nowhere did Flossin say any of what Saint just said. Literally, the frame before this is Flossin playing Soldier 11 in game.
Made those decisions.
Nowhere did Flossin say within any of that little 30-second bit that we just heard what Saint just. I'm telling you, W Rage Bait. That entire sentiment, that feeling, did not come out of Flossin's mouth. This is quite literally making up something for the bit. This is making it up for the bit, 100%.
What is this? Like, have a little bit of self-respect.
What are we not doing? What do you mean have self-respect on what? Yo, I didn't pick this character. I couldn't pick this character because blank. Damn, bro. Have a little bit of decent common sense, some courtesy, if you will, bro. Get some self-respect for yourself, man. You couldn't pull the character that you want? Okay. Man, such a loser. Couldn't be me, chat. I pull what I want, when I want, how I want.
As someone who did build around that synergy, that's not HP Inflation's fault. That's my fault.
No, it's the dev's fault.
Done. Flossin, I'm wrapping this up. I want you to understand something because you're in the chat. By no means should you take offense to this video. I think I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold this. This has to be a bit. I know I've been saying a long time, or the whole video, whatever, you know what I'm saying. This has to be a bit. This can't be serious. Flossin, please don't take anything that he said to heart. This was very insulting, and I get it. So there's one thing that I want to mention. I've said this time and time again. You guys don't realize the power, y'all. Creators, not chat. I don't think creators realize the amount of power they have when they have these large ass communities. Having what Saint says, loser, have some self-respect for yourself, right? Get over whatever, like it's the dev's fault, all that kind of shit. This stuff gets parroted by, once again, let's visit the diagram, the blue players and sometimes the green players, right? And when you say these kinds of things, they're going to parrot whoever their favorite creator is, whoever their favorite spokesperson, they're going to parrot that information or parrot those statements, which then creates problems for the creator or other parts of the community, whatever, that no one wants to take accountability for. We've seen this time and time again. I can't control my community. I'm not their father. I'm not their mother. Whatever they do is on them. You don't necessarily have to control them, but you do enable them. I want to make that very clear. Rage bait, the videos, funny or not, they enable the actions of these 12-year-olds. I need to make that very clear. You have 12-year-old Timmys, LOL, haha, WW, pogger. They don't see a repercussion. They don't understand that concept yet. Little Timmy not getting his ass whooped, right? Father's not in his life. He don't get his ass whooped. Mom is doing gentle parenting, so it doesn't work in the household. Then you have like 55-year-old actual losers living in somebody's basement, making these comments. I'm not here to dictate somebody's channel and how they operate it, but I really do wish that there was a lot more awareness with silly stuff like this. Flossin's video there was nothing wrong with Flossin's video. As the resident loser of Zenless Zone Zero, allegedly, because I spend more than 2 hours on the game, everything Flossin said for the most part is absolutely valid. The information that gets pushed around by that white block, the tourist block, it's coming from players who do not understand even half of the game. The arguments about HP inflation, it's Miyabi's fault. No, it's not. the whole thing that like I'm telling y'all, it had to have been bait. The whole thing that Saint did towards the end, where you know he's like calling Flossin. I don't want to say out of his name because he didn't say it directly, but he was directing that at the type of player that Flossin might be, or the ZZZ community as a whole, the type of players that they are. Just because they don't agree with you doesn't mean that they're any of that stuff, I guess, if that's like an easy way for me to say that. You just ass at the game, bro. Like that's cool, right? Like I'm ass at Tekken. I can get better. I really just don't give a fuck. Talk to me in Fatal Fury. Talk to me in Street Fighter. I care about getting better in those games when I play those games. I do not care about getting better in Tekken. Like I play Tekken when the homies play Tekken. It's okay to admit that you're bad at something and then also not caring. Yeah, it's not cool to degrade anybody. Which I think just happens across the entire, like, it's whatever, right? Everyone does it.